Ordering a $20 pizza on a Friday night feels like a simple, familiar ritual. You crave comfort food, you make a call, and a hot pie arrives at your door. But this chart shows a brutal macroeconomic collision happening behind the scenes. On one axis, you have soaring commodity costs for wheat and dairy, compounding with rapidly rising hourly labor rates. On the other axis, you have a completely flat line, representing the consumer's relentless demand for cheap, heavily discounted meal deals. Caught in the middle of that economic squeeze, you would expect local neighborhood slice shops to be going bankrupt. Instead, independent pizzerias are consistently pulling in robust 15 to 20% profit margins. This bar chart shows the apex of that paradox. While general independent restaurants notoriously struggle to survive their first 12 months, a new Domino's franchise has a near-zero failure rate, specifically just 1% in year one. Hitting these numbers requires moving past traditional cooking. Modern pizzerias use station-based workflows and engineered menu layouts to ensure every cent of potential revenue is captured. The survival of the neighborhood pizza joint relies entirely on a hidden war of invisible efficiencies. That margin extraction begins before you even speak to a cashier. Take a look at this high-end menu graphic. The currency symbols are completely missing, and the prices end in 95 cents instead of round dollars, a tactic known as charm pricing. By removing the visual trigger of money and subtly adjusting the numbers, restaurants reduce the psychological friction of paying. Data indicates these small adjustments can boost sales by up to 24%. In the back of the house, psychological tricks give way to strict physical discipline. Every single dough ball has to be weighed. Overportioning by a fraction of an ounce wastes flour and yeast, allowing microscopic losses to compound rapidly across hundreds of daily orders. Then there is the cheese lip technique. Operators train their staff to leave a precise ring of bare dough along the edge. As it bakes in a high-heat oven, that crust rises to form a physical barrier, catching the expensive, melting mozzarella before it can spill onto the hot stone and burn away profit. Managing volatile, low-cost commodities demands this exact level of hyper-tactile, granular control to secure a 20% margin. That physical discipline is then scaled through enterprise-level technology. Kitchen Display Systems, or KDS, eliminate bottlenecks by breaking down a single ticket and strictly routing each component, from the dough to the toppings to the final box, directly to the relevant prep station. This flowchart illustrates the role of AI demand forecasting in the modern kitchen. The algorithm pulls in historical data, cross-references it with local weather events and community calendars, and outputs the precise staffing levels and inventory required for a specific shift. Domino's enforces these exact operational systems at a corporate scale. Opening a franchise requires strong financials, a minimum $250,000 net worth and $75,000 in liquid cash. But the ultimate barrier to entry is internal. Even if you have the capital, Domino's will reject your application unless you have spent a full year working as a general manager or supervisor inside one of their stores. The largest empires in the industry have walled off their highest profits behind a rigorous operational moat, ensuring that outside money cannot simply buy its way in. We are a long way from the intuition-based mom-and-pop shops of the mid-20th century, where success relied on a good family recipe and foot traffic. Today's market demands a dual identity, a storefront that captures the artisanal, better pizza trend, while the kitchen relies on a digital spine of station-based workflows and automated inventory tracking. Failing to adopt loyalty data tracking and automated kitchen routing leaves an operator absorbing the full impact of food inflation, practically guaranteeing they will be priced out of existence. The modern pizza, whether a quick fast food pie or an expensive artisanal slice, is a specific financial output built on calculated logistics and predictive data.